I lost my I lost my best friendship over that.
Erik Fox is the author who went from just 70 sales to a viral TikTok sensation, selling thousands of copies of his debut thriller practically overnight.
I ended up getting terrible feedback very quickly. I knew what a bad book looked like at that point.
I know you wrote Gimbels really quick. How do you get yourself in the mindset to do something like that, though?
If I can sit down and I can force myself to write the first 2 pages, flow state. It may feel rigid up to that point. I can always go back and edit those things, but if
With this book, what are you doing to drive sales?
how do
Welcome back to the COS Business Podcast, #1 podcast in Colorado Springs.
And soon the world. Today, our highlighted sponsor is Data Hubs. Check them out at datahubs.io.
Perfect. Well, we have a returning guest, a great friend of the show, great friend all around, Erik Fox. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man.
Dude,
Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
absolutely, man. Well, you came back with another book, so you've just been planning these books and you've been on top of it. But let's talk a little bit about it. It's Gimbels this time. So again, originally when you came on the show, it was Monarch, amazing book, and then now you came out with Gimbels. So second book in the series. Yep. Talk a little bit about like the genesis of Gimbels and what it's about.
You know, Gimbels actually started off on Kindle Vella, which they don't have anymore. So they shut down Kindle Vella. And I only had written the first part of it. So like that whole first part that you read in it, it was already out. So I was actually going to plan on continuing that into something completely different. And then I got enough pressure from people after they finished Monarch. They were like, I want to know more about these characters. So I was like, all right, I'll kind of play into it. And then I wrote it. So it was really quick. Honestly, I think it only took 6 months, which is way faster in terms of like a turnaround for a book. So
that's awesome. And then you said Kindle. What was that thing you were talking about? You put out like a Kindle like series, right? Of like Gimbels.
Yeah. So it was episodic. So it was kind of like a TV show. So like you would just read it like weekly and it was just like short stories. So that every chapter that you see in that was like 10 weeks. Of like me writing and releasing one for 10 weeks.
Oh, cool. So that makes a lot of sense. Cause I remember when I read the book, there's something about Gimbels coming out and I was like, oh, cool. And then, so like for our audience at home, like briefly explain like the name Gimbels, what that means briefly.
So what's interesting about Gimbels in like general is that when I was writing Monarch, the insane asylum that he ends up kind of going to is Gimbels, and it's about like balancing, right? So like that's what a gimbal does. It like balances for the camera. And I was like, that kind of makes like a good like parable for this, is like you're trying to find balance within this like place. But Gimbels ended up being kind of like the opposite of that, you know, not exactly balanced, more just like kind of hectic and chaotic, and kind of played off of that idea. But the genesis of it was just basically that, just trying to, you know, tie back into everything. And Gimbels was the best place to do it because everybody kind of had a pathway through there.
That's awesome. That's great, man. And then like you get back to like a lot of the favorite characters like Harkin and a lot of people that are in the original book, which is really cool. It's interesting because you write a book, and I'm trying to go through your mindset like writing the book, because the first one, like you break out these characters and they all kind of start tying together at the end. And then you have Gimbels, which is like going more in depth about these characters and their backgrounds and their upbringing. Like talk about that creative writing process, because it's super interesting to me to like, you have a really good, well-written story, and then you kind of dive into the character's backstory. It's really cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, for people who you never read.
No, I've never read.
So, yeah, you need an audio.
I can't
remember
even,
you told me
yeah,
that.
I can't even read.
I'm aware. So the whole idea of it was like, you know, I had characters that did really well within the first story, so people really wanted to learn more about them. And, you know, Mrs. Goodwill was one of them. I like Miss Goodwill a lot. She's based off Michaela. So, like, she basically is coming through in that entire thing. And then I wanted to build in plot lines to incorporate Albert. So I brought in like Albert's brother and kind of gave them backstory. And a lot of it just kind of like, it was tying in like loose ends, man. Like, because people wanted to know more about those characters. And so when it came down to it, I was just like, okay, so I already kind of had ideas for how to do that, but I didn't know exactly how that was going to turn out. Just like how I wrote Monarch, I didn't know anything about when I was writing it. I was just kind of going with it and seeing how it worked out. And then when I got to the end of it, it felt right. I love Adrian's part in that. So the police chief, that is like my favorite part that I've probably ever written. I feel like it's much better written than any part of any like stuff that I've written anymore. So I don't know, man. It was different.
Is that the newest part of the book?
It's the last part.
See, and I have a theory with creatives, because every time I finish something, I feel like it's the best thing that I've ever done.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why you feel that.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like that's where I really hit a stride. So like
Okay,
it was intertwined with research and pure character development. I wanted it to feel real enough to spark interest and to make it feel relatable, but then also pull it away enough to make people dream a little bit about the idea that things could go that way, right? Or could not go that way, for example. So it ended up playing out really well with it. Like I said, I love Adrian's part. I think it played out great. So
yeah, you definitely don't expect the ending, like how you have this. And again, like a lot of your books is kind of like that. But I thought in Monarch specifically, I was kind of seeing things before they happen. I was like, I guess that I was at least on the right track. But with this one, there were definitely some twists and turns I wasn't expecting. I'm like, oh, okay, this is like getting really interesting. And then like I remember getting towards the end of the book, I'm like, oh, there's only so many pages left. Like, what's going to happen? And it's pretty interesting how it ends. So
yeah, and I like Harkin's origin story too. I mean, how could you not, man?
Yeah,
people are funny. They like love Harkin. I wrote Harkin because I didn't like him in a lot of ways. Like I wanted him to be like that crazy bastard that I never really got his moment to like be that way. So Harkin being the serial killer that he is, it was fun to dive into that backstory because I kind of mentioned it in the first book and then I played into that, right?
Yeah.
So like if you read Monarch, it talks about how he killed a truck like driver that was killing people along the road, right? So I was like, I'm gonna dive into that. Like we're gonna explore that kill. So that was fun to do.
We'd like to take a quick break and thank our sponsors.
Junkin Hall.
Need to clear out clutter fast?
Junkin Hall is Colorado Springs' go-to for same-day junk removal.
With the eco-friendly service and a 5-star team you can trust.
Visit junkinhall.com to schedule your free estimate today. That's JUNKNHAUL.com. Pioneer Rodeo.
The Pioneer Rodeo is back August 15th through the 17th at Norris Penrose Event Center with 2 nights of rodeo and wild demolition derby finales.
Tickets go on sale June 1st. Details at pioneerrodeo.com.
Bolton Co. Executive Coaching.
Up feels better than stuck. You know that. But in this market, how do you get unstuck and get ahead as an executive?
Our guy JB is an executive coach at Bolton Co. Coaching, where he believes you don't have to change who you are. You just need an injection of effectiveness and a proven competitive edge roadmap for your way up. Head to boltonco.net. That's boltonco.net. ProLift Garage Doors. ProLift Garage Doors are your locally owned and operated residential and commercial garage door experts. From fast repairs and smooth replacements to routine tune-ups, they keep your doors running like new.
Go with the pros at ProLift Garage Doors.
Visit proliftdoors.com to learn more. Be Our Guest Getaways. Be Our Guest Getaways specializes in Disney cruise resort and theme park vacations.
Planning a Disney vacation can be stressful. Let Be Our Guest Getaways provide you with concierge-level service for free.
Learn more at beourguestgetaways.com. That's beourguestgetaways.com.
Planet Duct. Planet Duct is the #1 choice for professional air duct cleaning in Colorado Springs and Southern Colorado. With state-of-the-art equipment and top-tier service, they make sure the air in your home or business is clean and allergen-free. Breathe easier with Planet Duct. Learn more at planetduct.com.
Awesome Home Services. Awesome Home Services delivers top-notch HVAC solutions for your home. Whether you need heating, cooling, or system maintenance, they ensure your comfort year-round. Visit awesomeservice.com for your HVAC needs. That's awesomeservice.com.
Proud American Electrical and Solar.
Give Proud American Electrical and Solar a call today for all your electrical and solar needs. They are locally owned and operated business right here in Colorado Springs. If you're looking for information on solar, this is the company you will want to call. Check out their website at proudamericansolar.com. Use promo code COSBusiness for a 5% discount today.
Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care.
Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care offers affordable, accessible healthcare with a focus on you. They provide exceptional primary care without the hassle of insurance barriers. Experience a patient-centered approach. Learn more at pinnacleapc.com.
And now let's get back to the show.
I love it. So explain that a little bit more now that like Monarch's been out for a year, that first twist of Monarch, it's kind of like the main hook of Monarch, I would say, right? Is like about Harkin. You kind of just went over it, but like explain that. So, cause like Andrew hasn't looked too much into the book about that part, but that's really like the crux of the book. It's awesome.
Right. Well, yeah. So you have no idea about this, right?
No.
Like you know nothing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I know a little bit about it. You know, I know it's a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
And we've talked about
yeah,
it before. Yeah.
I know
Well,
a
so
little bit, yeah.
Connor is the detective. You don't really learn his name until the end of the first part because it's like all kind of intertwined. But Connor Harkin is his full name. So he's kind of separated his personalities into two. So he's got Connor, which is the moral, justified detective. Then he's got Harkin, which is kind of like, I hate the analogy, but it's almost like Batman-esque. right? I'm not a big Batman fan. I like legitimately cannot stand Batman. So,
Okay.
so it's funny that I make that reference. But for Harkin to see himself, so basically he's got DID, right? So disassociated. And Harkin is like the intensified justice of like what was never brought to like the justice system, right? Like you see people walk away from murders and not get charged for them. And Harkin's kind of like the backup of that of being like, I'm going to serve it anyways. Like
Mhm.
I'm going to kill him because he deserves to die type
Absolutely,
of idea.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and I love Dexter. It's one of my favorite shows. So that's
Yeah.
exactly like very similar to
Yeah.
Dexter and what he does.
yeah.
And I don't know if you've been watching the newest season, Dexter Resurrection. It's like literally active right now.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And it's different because they just released a whole nother sub series prequel just at the beginning of the year that's already done, and they're literally like mid season right now with what they're going on, and like it's fun to dive into the fantasy of like a killer's mind, I guess. And you obviously love doing that.
I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird, man. But I have watched some of Dexter. I have not started the newest season though.
Okay.
I watched the other one where he kind of like gets shot by his son.
Yeah.
I watched the end of that one and I was like, oh, I'm so happy this is back.
Yeah.
you know. But I started watching the one that was like his prequel. That one was cool.
Yeah, that was interesting. They
Yeah.
did a really good job with the cast, at least.
Yeah.
And the writing. I don't know. I love that. I don't know. It's just pretty cool to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, psychology is interesting, man.
Yeah.
And even when you look at like the destructive nature of like serial killers, like that is insanely interesting to me. So
Mhm.
It's really interesting to a lot of people. I think psychological thrillers has really just like had one of these kind of trajectories the past like 10, 15, like since Netflix started coming out with a lot of them, I would say. And maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong because you've been into like the novels specifically. So maybe just like tell us a little bit more about that. But I think it's very interesting, like you guys were going through, like why we get tied to like what drives somebody to become like at birth, baby, not much going on until like all these things take effect in their lives and what really turns them to be that kind of person. I think it's super interesting.
yeah, I mean, I'll preface it by saying that I think that it's a lot of misunderstood things. We don't really know exactly what makes murderers, right? There's psychological breaks. There's, I don't know, upbringing, right? Like for somebody with DID, for example, that the way I describe it in Monarch, that does not happen, right? Like you have to understand that there's a lot of fiction written within that. There's some fact, but there's a lot of fiction. So the most of the complaints that I got on Monarch is actually for how unfactual it is, and it's like it's not supposed to be. It's a story. So
Like factual, like.
so like DID does not normally start within adults. Like
yeah.
it's not something that was like, so he kills the haircut killer and he like separates, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen normally. It doesn't say that it doesn't happen at all, but it's just not something that happens normally. A lot of it stems from like childhood, trauma, abusive parents, whatever have you. And that's legitimately the main complaint I get with Monarch all the time, is that people find like little nitpicking things to do, which is, it's funny to me because like I read Stephen King stuff. Not all that's factual, right? It's got a lot of paranormal stuff in it. Obviously, there is some fact that has to be accounted for because it makes it feel realistic. But I mean, that's kind of what I was going for, is that I wanted to just cross the line enough to make it feel like it could happen. So
Was that an oversight or is that like a decision you intentionally did?
it was a decision I intentionally
Okay.
did. Like I wanted it to be like out of the box. I don't want people to think that this could actually happen. Like I do think that vigilante justice to an extent happens, but like not like this, right?
Yeah, that reminds me of Luigi and Mangione.
Yeah, dude. All right. Funny story about that though. I've been working on Flutter, which is the third book for this. I had the exact scene written, like hands down.
No way.
Hands down, what happened with that entire thing. I had him kill a healthcare CEO
What?
because he had a failure on like some of his stuff. He was getting screwed over by all the healthcare system. It is wild. I had to pull that from my copy because I was like,
Do you had like the dates and everything, like
no,
it
not
happened
like
beforehand.
no, not like
You got
that
the-
accurate.
you
But
got
it
the
was
receipts.
it's interesting because like I didn't expect that to
That's
be
awesome, yeah.
top line news like 2 weeks later. It
No,
was
that's
wild.
insane. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy, man. No, it's cool. I think that your writing style is just really matured too, and I love seeing that in both books. Is like you tie people in. So I mean, it's so interesting that you've only written these 2 books, and like I feel like you have a very mature writing style. I think that just attributes to how many books you've read in your life. I mean, you've been a reader your
Probably.
whole life. And for our audience at home, like where did this like love for reading come from? Like was it? Let's go back to the beginning. Like when did you start like loving books and really get into
man.
this type of stuff?
You want to know what? There was a series called Redwall back in the day. It was like Scholastic Book Fairs.
Oh
those?
wow, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I was probably in like 3rd grade, and I saw this like picture of a like mouse warrior on a, on a cover, and I was like, I'm gonna read it. And it was supposed to be for like 6th graders. And so like I read it all the way through, and then I blew through a lot of that series, and it's like 17 books long. So like I read like a lot of those, and then I read Harry Potter. I read Artemis Fowl. I mean, I just read a lot, like growing up, and I was a lot of fiction stuff. I loved it. And Hunger Games was definitely on there as I got kind of more into like my teenage section. And then after that, when you met me initially, I had switched over to nonfiction. So like I had read Awaken the Giant Within with Tony Robbins, and that was like game changing for me. Like I just dove into that way too heavily. And so for like 12 years straight, all I did was read nonfiction. And then that ended up being, I don't know, you could name a book and I probably read it within like a 10-year span of nonfiction. Like I read close to 3,000, like really quick.
Wow.
So it was nuts.
You're like Ty Lopez, dude.
Yeah, I just wanted to read, man. Like I didn't want to be like information deficit. Like I wanted to have something that like, if anybody asked me a question, I could answer it. Right. And a lot of that stems from yes mindset. But at the end of the day, like it's a lot of practical knowledge. If you're not applying things, does it really matter? Right.
Does it stick too?
Yeah.
If you're not applying them.
Right. So like you can read a lot, but do you actually keep it and retain it? I mean, that's kind of where my focus was for a long time, was like, and at the same time, I was smoking a ton of weed, so I wasn't doing like the best stuff with it. So I wasn't necessarily on top of that the whole way I could be, but I tried to implement what I could. So,
yeah. I mean, I wish I could read faster, and I wish it wasn't like a struggle for me.
Yeah.
But audiobooks, I've read so many audiobooks, and I put them on ×2, ×3, sometimes.
I can't do that.
I put it on ×1. It depends if it's, it depends on the type of book, and it depends on how information rich it is. Like, you got to go slower if it's information rich.
And do you ever go into fiction stuff?
I don't actually.
Dude.
Not audiobooks. I did listen to this. Marvel partnered with Stitcher, which is like an audio book, or it's like a podcast platform. It was really big before before like Spotify took over everything. But they contracted Marvel to make this Wolverine audio book thing. And it was like had sound. It was like a movie production. I listened to it on a drive to Colorado actually once from Kansas City, and that was really awesome because it utilized the medium to its fullest. Like video and movies utilize the medium of like what you can do with vision and symbols and things like that, and you can do that with writing as well too. But I feel like each medium has their own like strength and or some people say strength. And I don't like it when they say it that way. No, I'm just kidding. Sidetracked. And it was really cool because it had like, you could hear all like he was on like an elastic, like I still like vividly, it was like I watched a movie, like I can vividly like see it. And I bet that's probably how like reading is for you. Like,
yeah, it's like watching, it's definitely like that. It's like your mind kind of goes blank and then you see like a movie reel almost.
Yeah. Because it was like, he was on an Alaskan fish boat and like, he just ripped up a bunch of people. I don't know why, but he just did it.
Dude, book recommendation for you though. One that I really think you should listen to because it's like, it's information heavy, but it's also really fun. It's called Project Hail Mary.
Okay.
Hands down the best audiobook I've ever listened to.
I'll put it on, yeah.
What's it about?
It's sci-fi. It's about this dude who gets sent off into space and he's trying to like save the human race from like something that's happening. And
sci-fi is my.
I was like, you're speaking his language.
Dude, it is so good. Like,
what is it called?
Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary. Okay, nice.
But man, if you don't fall in love with Rocky, I don't know what's wrong with you. Rocky's the man. Rocky is awesome.
Did you read a lot of science fiction when you were going through
it
that?
actually wasn't something that I read at all.
Okay.
Like growing up. I think the only one that I read, like, and this is the one that got me into reading as an adult, like fiction, was Ready Player One.
Okay.
Ready Player One was amazing, man.
I've heard about the book being really good.
It's so much better than the movie. It's not even
That's
close.
what Casey and I says, I think.
Yeah. It's so good, man.
Yeah, I say that because there's an OG series by Isaac Asimov, and he's like the father of like science fiction essentially. And there's this series out on Apple TV right now called Foundation, and there's a new season out right now, and it's like one of the most well-written like series I've ever like. I vouch for it, like high praise for it because it's so good.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like he was writing about like robots before the term. I think he might have coined the term robot. That's like how prolific of a writer he is.
That's wild,
yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
And so it's like he was like all into that, and it's just really cool to see this I don't know. It's an amazing, well written show. I just recommend it. You recommend something, I'll recommend something back.
All right, yeah, dude, for sure. Foundation.
Yeah, Foundation.
All right, I got you.
You
you
probably
like-
would love the books.
Yeah.
I want you to read the books so you can tell
Oh,
me.
there's books for
Yeah.
Foundation too.
Oh, that's what I was just saying. Like they
Oh,
were written in
wow.
like the 40s or they're
Oh, that's
actually
cool.
what's his name? George Lucas literally based Star Wars off of Foundation, like because the books were written like in like the 30s or 40s, and so he was like in the 60s, like coming up with Star Wars, and then
Mhm.
it came out in the 70s, like the actual, but like there's almost like a replica, rip off, like there's Jedi mind powers in it, like,
No way.
but they don't call them Jedi mind powers, like they call it like you're using your brain to control things, is what
Not the
they say.
Force.
Yeah.
That's cool,
Yeah,
man.
it's like an
All right.
evolution of science, is what it is.
I'll check it out. Why not, man? I'm sure there's an audiobook of it. I'll listen to that. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like, I'll see how I like that.
No,
Is
for
that how you
sure.
primarily ingest information, is like reading and then audiobooks? Or do you like, are you interested in shows and like film and anything like that
Oh,
too as well?
Man, so since I started dating my wife, she doesn't like TV. So a lot of what I ingest is definitely reading. I have a hard time with audiobooks at times. If it's a good audiobook, I'm in,
Mhm.
right? Like I will make time for that audiobook. But primarily right now, yeah, it's only reading. You know,
That's
I
nice.
spend 2 hours a night basically reading.
I was just gonna ask that. Is
So-
that kind of like a way you guys settle down for the night? Is just kind of read your
Yeah.
way to sleep, essentially?
Yeah, you know, like I try to read anywhere between, I don't know, I'd say like 40 to 100 pages a day, you know, not too bad. It doesn't feel like much now, but
How fast do you read? Have you ever like clocked it?
no, I probably should. At some
Yeah,
point,
that'd be fun.
I should probably clock how fast I write too.
Yeah.
Because apparently,
Type.
like, yeah, type. Yeah, right.
because writing is so archaic.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I just know that I write pretty fast
Yeah.
comparatively to like other authors. Like, I know a handful of ones that write really well, and then the other side of them are like, it takes them 3 years to finish, you know, a
Okay,
novel.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, you're not talking about typing speed. You're talking about writing speed.
no, I'm talking about typing. speed.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
I love typing. It's like one of my favorite. Like I've recently fell in love with typing because of AI, actually, because I want to be able to talk to my AI faster.
Okay.
So I've been training myself to type really fast, and it's been fun.
For sure. He's just going ham.
Yeah, it's almost like casting a spell. Like when you finish the whole sentence, like you're.
Dude, AI's crazy,
It's like
man.
It's like playing an instrument when you get typing really well.
Oh yeah.
And like
Yeah.
you're not even looking at the keyboard, you're just focused on the screen, and you're just like you're pulling these thoughts out of your brain, and like you're putting them in the physical world almost.
I'm sure
Yeah,
you're like
it's-
that too, right? With the
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
No, so I started with coding back in the day. So like
There you go, yeah.
when you had first met me, I'd actually started another company with a friend of mine, and it was called Zen Creations, if I'm not wrong. I was 18. It was really short lived. So like we did like 4 months of it. And I remember I was coding, and it was kind of like that same way. I would just like stare at my screen. I wouldn't even look at my keyboard, and like
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
typing intricate things in, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it was wild to even think back on, because you just watch stuff like populate in front of you, which
You
is
feel it just
crazy.
pour out of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
I'd like to reiterate too. It's like about my reading. I guess it's dyslexia. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I actually can read fast, but it's only if not fast. Fast is relative. But I can read at a decent speed, but it's only if something really captures my attention, which is where the ADHD aspect comes into it.
Yeah.
Like, but I think AI has increased my reading speed actually, because
sure.
I get so enthralled into wanting to find an answer that I'm just reading whole like more than I've ever would even expect
true.
or try
Yeah.
or even like pull out of myself, you know, and like
Yeah.
I'm actually like pushing myself. Like it's almost like I'm working out when I'm like trying to read through like, because you got to like tune your AIs to not like put out so much words.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a fun thing. I just wanted to reiterate on that because
You can read. Yes,
I
we
can
know.
read.
I got you.
It's just it can be a struggle for me where if I'm not fully enthralled in something, I'm finding myself just reading the same thing over and over and over again because while I'm reading, I'm thinking about coffee or whatever, you know.
Yeah. No, I got you. I've been there.
Just wanted to reiterate that.
Well, I also wanted to talk about that too, like your first couple of businesses, because I know we've brushed over it over the
Mhm.
years, but like I don't think you've ever gotten a chance to like really talk about some of those first businesses that you had and like how we met. Or I think we brushed over it before, but it's a cool story of like, you know, because you're very entrepreneurial, like
Mm.
in nature and the things that you've done. And I mean, you're always doing things entrepreneurial, whether it's writing a book or doing some digital marketing and like building websites. So talk about that, because I think it's super important as well.
I mean, you said it the best, man. Like I wasn't entrepreneurial, so I still am, you know, like, yeah, I don't want to work for somebody. I don't want to trade my time for money. That's not how that works for me. So, I mean, like back in the day, my first business was definitely Zen Creations, which was a web design platform, right? So like me and a buddy named Josh started that, and it was it was what it was, like worth, I guess,
Mhm.
is the best
Yeah.
way to put it. And then after that, let's see. I think I went into sales after that. So I think I was into Primerica, which is somewhat entrepreneurial, I guess you could say. Like you learn sales is
Some
like kind
training
of
wheels,
like,
but yeah, it's definitely
yeah,
for sure.
And then that kind of transferred over to, what was that other one? They sell a bunch of lotion. I don't know. I can't.
Mary Kay, maybe?
Nah,
no.
not Mary Kay.
Amway.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did
I was in
Amway?
Amway for about 2 months. Yeah.
That's
and then
cool.
I switched over to World Ventures. And so we were in that for
And that's where we met. And we met Earl, who's been on the show,
Oh
and
my
Quentin
gosh.
Blanche, and all
Earl
these
is
people.
the man. I love Earl.
Yeah.
He's such a good dude.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then after that, man, I was just kind of all over the place. I was trying different things. So, I had the music blog. I started doing that. And then after that, I was doing independent like PR work. And then I was doing another website design stuff. And then I started editing books. And then I started ghostwriting books.
Wow.
And I didn't ghostwrite for long. I probably did that for like 2 weeks, like not long at all. And I realized I wanted to write my own stuff pretty quickly. And, then we're jumping into books and starting other things, and now I've got other endeavors that I'm just trying to work on. So
Have you written other books other than this that like are just not published or any kind of writings out there?
yes. Yeah, I have. I have probably, I don't know, 10 books that are almost done. So
Oh, nice.
I'm like ready. I'm trying to
Yeah.
finich the series first, but yeah, I'm ready to go.
You're like that person who's like been their whole life. They've been like, you're like a level 5, but you've been at level 1, but now you're like leapfrog to level 5 really quickly because
Yeah.
you've just been building up for this long. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, so I started writing like a long time ago, and I initially had released a book called The Anomaly Theory. I was 26, and it was like about this like kind of growth pattern about like what makes you an anomaly in like a world where everything's kind of normalized, right? And to stand out above the 1,000 people that you're in competition with constantly, right? And I still have that idea. I took it down after like 3 weeks of it being out because I ended up getting terrible feedback very quickly because I wrote it in like 2 months. Like it was a very quick process, and I didn't edit it and I didn't do all these things. I was just kind of like testing the waters. So I removed that, and I've had thoughts about going back to that and finishing it at some point and like kind of doing it correctly. And we'll see how that goes, because that would be the first like nonfiction book that I would write, is like kind of making yourself more of the anomaly. I think we all get kind of stuck in like a normal way, and like how do we rise above normal? And it's really just small actions what makes you different than like what everybody else is looking for. It's like your desires, your goals, and how you pursue them. And I will stand by that every day. But
That's kind of how you are. Like you're a very unique person ever since I've known you. Like you're not like someone who kind of blends into anything that you do. Where in the backwards hat, you're very much about connecting with like, whether it's like even wayfinders, like with your customers at such a deep level. You
that
know?
is true. Yeah.
It's very interesting that you kind of already been that person who always stands out. Is that something that you've inherently done, or is this natural for you?
You
or-
want to know what? So when we were in World Ventures, you remember the colors?
Yeah.
Like red, blue, green, yellow.
Uh-huh.
I always thought I was green, man. Always. Because I felt like I blended into everything. Like I thought I just would disappear into the wall constantly. I realize now that I'm very red. Like I'm a pretty aggressive person when
Yeah.
it comes down to it. So I will talk to you, and that's why I don't care if you see me in a backwards hat or if I tell you to fuck off or whatever. Like that's just who I am.
Yeah.
So no, I was not always like that. At least I didn't think I was, but potentially, and I just didn't recognize it. So
Explain for our audience, even Andrew, like the colors, because I thought they were really cool. And I thought it was always a mixture of 2 different colors all the time. That always
Yeah.
helped me understand it. But
well, so like I actually kind of built my own theory around this, like while we were in World Ventures, because I was like, there's too many like different variables about this, right? Do you know like Myers-Briggs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the personality tests
Oh, yeah.
and stuff. So this
16.
is kind of based off of that. And red was like the aggressive go-getters. They would like tackle things really fast. They were quick to be entrepreneurs. They were just hard-charging people is the best way to put it. And then you'd have blues, which are like fun-loving people. They like to party. They like to drink. They like social connection. They like to kind of be continuously like around things that are happening, right? They have very big FOMO aspects. I didn't go to that party. Oh no, I better show up, right? And then you have greens, which are really analytical, data-driven, have to have proof. Those are just kind of their basis, right? Like, and like I said, they blend into things.
For sure.
Like you would see somebody, you would walk in, the first person you pick out of a room, not green. Like you will look over a green. And then yellows are emotional types, people that are driven by just emotions, connections, and just like want to, help people. And that's how they kind of function, right? They want to be connected to everybody and they want to do good with it. So yes, like you were saying, they always had like duels. And I always pictured that red and yellow were emotional constructs, right? They were like reasons you acted purely emotional. So like you were either very hungry because you had a reason to be hungry to chase a goal, or you were very emotional because you had a reason to help people, right? So those were the emotional constructs. The data-driven ones were blue and green for me. So like you wanted to have fun because it made sense to have fun, right? Like you needed proof to go have fun. And then you have like, obviously your greens just being like, I need numbers. I need them in front of me and I need to check them. But I went down this huge rabbit hole with this for like years, man. And I eventually ended up coming to the idea that I was probably red yellow. So I was an emotional construct person. So like I don't function much off of data at all. I don't care if numbers say anything. I have a feeling that the anomaly, and this is what it kind of draws back to, the anomaly doesn't care about the numbers. They stand out above them regardless because they're not checking data constantly. They're doing what makes them grow faster, like internally, right? So that's kind of maybe why I stand out a little bit more, is because I'm not sitting there worried about what people think about me constantly. I'm like worried more about how I think about myself.
I love that. That's a great way to put that, man. Reminds me of that speech, Man in the Arena, at the Theodore Roosevelt speech about the man in the arena. It's just talking about, I have in my office, I had in the office, such a great speech. We should pull that up later, but it's just, it talks about that. Like the people who just like, they're in their arena and they can't be, there's no care about what people are saying in their, like about them who are in the stands. Cause like they would never know victory nor defeat because they're in the stands. They just cast their opinions on what you're doing. And since you're in the arena and you have all the attention on you, they feel like they can cast their judgment on you rather than going in and doing it themselves. And there's something to be said about that. Like the people who are willing to like go out there and take risks. It's so important. And like entrepreneurs know that, like that weight that takes to do that, to put yourself out there to fail in front of everybody. Like when I did it in events, I've failed at events before, and that's like humiliating, but it's like, at least I know what that feels. And at least I took my shot. Right. Like you're talking about your first business, it was only like a couple months long. It's like, at least you took your shot and then you built upon that, or your first book. Yeah. Like you had to do that first book in like a couple months in order to build something like Monarch the right way and like have that foundation to build that.
Right.
So
like I knew what a bad book looked like at that point. I knew that if I rushed it, if I knew that if I didn't put my story the full way that I wanted to into it, I knew it was going to fail. Right. And I mean, that even goes back to like social media. I'm such a social media guy at this point because I run Wayfinder's social media pages. I run my own, I run other businesses within that for their social media pages. And it's like, you can't be afraid to fail. That's such a big thing, right? Like so many people get caught up on like, oh, they're going to judge me. Who fucking cares? Like, quite honestly, people are going to judge you anyways. And half the time when they think that they're judging you, they're just looking at themselves, right? They're worried about how people are perceiving them. I don't care. Like, I really don't. People are going to judge me. People are going to judge themselves way harder than I can ever judge them. And it doesn't make sense for me to sit there and think about how Andrew looks at me in the lens when grand scheme, I'm still writing books, you know, like I'm going to do that anyways. I wish people could like push past that. Yeah. I see so many people get clung up on the idea that like, oh, somebody's not going to like what I do. Who cares? Do it anyways. It's so much more fun to like let go of that entire aspect and just do it because you love it rather than like what you might get out of it or the recognition that you might get out of it. Like you can recognize yourself. It actually feels pretty good. So
we're going to take a quick break to thank our sponsors.
Envirolon is your go-to for transforming outdoor spaces with beautiful, water-efficient, artificial turf and landscapes.
Whether you're upgrading your yard or a commercial space in Arizona or Colorado, check them out at envirolon.net. That's ENVIROLAWN.net.
Reveal Med Spa.
Look and feel your best at Reveal Med Spas. With personalized plans that deliver real results, radiant skin, restored confidence, and natural rejuvenation.
At Reveal Med Spa, we see you. More than just aesthetic and wellness treatments, we provide a safe, judgment-free space where you feel valued, heard, and supported.
Visit revealmedspas.com.
I think it is literally just that too. We'll just double check. Book your next session at revealmedspas.com. That's revealmedspas.com.
Home Day. Buying a home shouldn't be overwhelming. Home Day empowers you to save on your mortgage by putting you in control of the process. Lower your cost and take the next step towards home ownership with ease. Visit gethomeday.com today.
Fast Signs. From banners to vehicle wraps, Fast Signs delivers custom visual solutions to help your business stand out. Their team ensures your message is clear, bold, and effective. Get your signage needed handled at fastsigns.com. That's fastsigns.com. Epic Eyewear. Stylish, affordable, and designed for adventure, Epic Eyewear has the sunglass and eyewear you need to see life more clearly. From the mountains to the beach, protect your eyes with high-quality frames and lenses. Check out their collection at epiceyewear.com. And by the way, Andrew, we do have a special discount, COSBP15, for 15% off, I believe.
Cars Helping Charities. Turn your unused cars into a meaningful contribution with Cars Helping Charities. They make it easy to donate your vehicle to support local causes. One of the local charities that we like to support on behalf of Cars Helping Charities, actually, and part of their sponsorship is Mattersville. And check them out too.
They're awesome. They are a tiny house community for veterans suffering with PTSD. They have a property out in Yoder, Colorado, and then they also have one in Sedalia, Colorado as well.
Donate today and make a difference. Visit carshelpingcharities.org. That's carshelpingcharities.org. Dream Accounting Solutions. Take the stress out of managing your books with Dream Accounting Solutions. They provide reliable expert accounting services tailored to small businesses. Simplify your finances at dreamaccountingsolutions.com. That's dreamaccountingsolutions.com.
Exponential Impact. Exponential Impact is driving innovation and entrepreneurial success in Colorado Springs. Supporting startups with mentorship, funding, and community resources, they help businesses grow and thrive. Learn more about their impact at exponentialimpact.com. That's exponentialimpact.com.
And now let's get back to the show.
And by the way, Wayfinder's social media is fire. You do a good job with that.
Thanks.
And I feel like you're always taking on new trends with it. It's just so cool to see what you do, man. And it's also like a little bit like, do you think that, because I remember the colors specifically, and like when they talked about the color yellow in that little quadrant, they were talking about those more so being like the creative types.
Yeah.
And the yellows, right?
Yeah, and that's why a big thing. Yeah, red and yellow. That's why I feel like that, man.
Yeah.
I've just been that person my entire life. So
Do you think you have and again, this is just a box that they put in, so you can say whatever.
Yeah.
But like, do you think there's a level of sensitivity in you too as well? Because I know they said like yellow is like more sensitive people, and it doesn't mean you are, but I'm just saying like, what do you think about that overall? It can also be confused with empathy too. So
right, and I think I have a point of empathy, right? Like I think I can understand like where people are at. Do I always function with it? No. I think giving too much empathy at times doesn't allow people to push past the barriers that are like kind of putting them in them, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like the box that people build around themselves, like is built around like sometimes how bad they feel about themselves, right? And I don't want to feed that box. I don't want to fill it more with like doesn't need to be filled with.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of giving them certain amounts of empathy, like I can understand like somebody may die, somebody may pass away, and like you have to deal with things in your life that are you naturally empathetic, right? But if it's woe me, I'm not about it, right? Like we all come across challenges, and I think that the biggest point is to move through them anyways. So I don't feed that type of empathy. Like everybody's got to move through. Everybody's got to grow up to some extent, and I hate that term as a grow up kind of thing. But I mean, somebody's got to like knock down your wall so you can build it perfect. And sometimes I will be the person that's knocking down your wall.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's so true, man. I'm like of the same mindset of like, especially victim mindsets, things like that. I'm like, man, we're all going through things, and like I don't have to tell you everything going on in my life, but I've definitely been through some things too, you know, and like it's hard once you start seeing things and you start overcoming things to see people who are going through challenges and they're like perpetuating the same problem over and over. I think that's the issue.
Right.
It's like if you're going through somebody, like someone you care about is going through something, you want to feel for them and be there for them. Of course you do. But if they're going through the same thing over and over and over again, and it's like a
Right.
broken record, that's an issue. You have to be able to get past those, whatever it might be, whatever issue might be, right?
Right. And so like in that regard, so like this is kind of what I'm talking about. Is like when you see people kind of cycling through those same things, it's because the people in their lives have reacted to it the same way and they're not changing. So like not only is the person not changing because they're going through the same motions, but the people around them aren't telling them that they're fucking up. And sometimes they really do need to be told like, hey, this needs to change. And like sometimes people are so afraid to say that. I love telling that to people because sometimes you just need to hear it. My family did it to me, and I think that's why. My entire life growing up, they were like, hey, you're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. You're doing this wrong. And it's like, sometimes you don't want to listen to that. Sometimes you kind of want to fight back on that. And sometimes the right choice is your choice, and you need freedom to chase that. But sometimes you need to listen, and sometimes you need to knock down that wall. So
That's a good point. I
yeah.
had a mom that was very blunt like that too. And I
Yeah.
think it sucked growing up, but then like I was so thankful being an adult. I'm like, man, thank you for holding me accountable for the things I was screwing up on. And I was just like
Right.
victimizing myself or whatever it might be. I got in trouble at school. It's their fault. It's the teacher's like, you screwed up. It's your fault, whatever it might be, you know? And like, that was my mom too for me. And that's so important. I hope I can be that for my friends too, just cause like, it's not an easy position to be like that too. Sometimes to be like,
Mhm.
you know, be the one person in your friends like, dude, I actually think you're kind of messing it up like here. It's like not easy to be that person, but someone like feel like I have to for that person to help them, like you're saying too as well.
yeah, I mean, accountability buddies are underrated, man. Like honestly, if you can trust somebody enough to listen to what they tell you, because it's really hard to build that much rapport with someone to where they take you like full on. But like as you're saying with like me being at Wayfinder, I build a lot of rapport really quickly. That's one of the things. Like The Speed of Trust was a book way back in the day. another one of those nonfiction ones. But really functioning on like how you get people to like, know, and trust you very quickly. Within a 5-minute conversation, I can get you there. But like getting to that point with rapport, deep rapport, to allow me to tell you, hey, this might be a better way to go about this. Hey, I didn't really love this chapter when I'm reading other people's books, and being able to guide them in a way that doesn't take away from what they had initially planned, but allow them to build it better. So you don't want to destroy somebody in the process, but you want to help them find solutions. And I think sometimes we get stuck looking at the problem itself and not trying to find the way around it. And I think that's kind of where people screw up, for lack of a better term. I want to give people, ways to get around what they're going through, rather than being like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, why doesn't it work? And it's like, okay, well, let's fix it. Like, I'm not trying to beat you down for no reason. I just want you to know that there's a way around it. You have to see it and you have to find it. So.
Yeah, and you expect that from a good friend on the other side of that, right?
Yeah, exactly. People do that to me all the time, and like I appreciate it. Like that's what's helped me get through a lot of my life. Not only family but good friends. So.
Yeah, so true, man. That's a great point. I want to go a little bit more into like when we met, especially because like I feel like we're all in our early 20s and we're talking through like that time of our life. I mean, obviously Earl's awesome. He was on the show. We had Quentin Blanche on the show, but like these people and like kind of where we all were at that age, because we're all in our early 20s. We're all very hungry. We're all very entrepreneurial in our own ways. And we just wanted to make an impact of some kind of significance out of our lives. Like we were just hungry to do that. And we were all digesting like self-help books. I feel like it was very, very, very like fruitful for my career for sure.
Yeah.
Like talk about that period in your life. You kind of brushed over it, but like it was so like important for me. I know it was for you as well.
Yeah. There's a handful of people that I used to talk to, well, I still do talk to, that are in that world that we were. And some of them have like paused out. Right. So like they haven't done too much afterwards. And a lot of people will look at that time period and be like, it wasn't worth it. I'm on the complete flip side of that. No matter how it panned out, like it taught me to like push. It told me like, this is how tired you can actually feel. And this is what's worth it. I will never take back those 4 years that I spent in that company, really digging into myself. It has made me a drastically different person than anybody I know. And like, that's not to toot my own horn, and like probably closest is in this room, like hands down. Like I don't meet people like us. People that like understand that there's risks, there's reasons, and there's like a way to get through things. Like that's all that company taught me, was just like push until you figure it out. And like, don't take your own like no for an answer. Cause like, you're so much easier to quit when you like feed your own like bullshit. Like, oh yeah, I don't want to do that. Like that seems hard. It's like, that's the best time to do it. Like to go extremely deep on something is like when it's really, really difficult. So yeah, and I like that's basically it. I don't want to brush over it again, but yeah, man, like that was it. Like I loved that time period. I learned so much about myself.
Oh man, it was awesome, Andrew. We like would go to like conferences and like they'd be like $300 or something like that, and we were dirt poor, so we had like no time to, or no money really to pay for them. Man. Yeah. And we'd help each other out, and then we'd like put like 15 of us in a hotel room and just like sleep on the floor and just want to go to these conferences to get more knowledge and just learn. We're like in that period where we're just trying to soak up information, which I think like you're talking about, like, I think a lot of people, like you said, from that time frame have maybe just gone other ways or maybe, but like for you specifically, I can tell you're still one of those people who wants to sponge up as much information. Like you're still just trying to learn. And that's how Andrew is. That's definitely how I am too, with different outlets that we do. For me, it's podcasts. Like I love it. I can't get enough of it. Like you can't get enough of reading. Like I love learning new things. And I feel like that's a mindset too, as well, that comes with that. And so like you said, it wasn't for us. It was a period that really helped and it was a crux for us, but it's also like, now it's kind of like a lifestyle that's come out of that whole thing.
Yeah. And like, that's basically what I'm getting at, is that like that lifestyle, that mindset was all built in those, like I think going into that, I was a ball of mush, like a wet piece of clay. And like, by the time I came out of it, I had a figure, but I wasn't like defined yet. Right. So like over the last, like, I don't know, decade. Yeah. I've defined those things, like I've sculpted different aspects of that into me. And I think if I didn't have like that moment of my life where we were sleeping 15 people in a hotel room so that we could sit after a conference of 8 hours and build ideas with each other, I wouldn't be that way. Like I would have never gone down that route of like self exploration.
Oh man, that's such a cool time to look back on. Because I remember all those times with you, even driving cars together to get to places and just like, it's just crazy times. I wanted to hold some space for like when you actually met Michaela, because I don't know if we talked too much about her on the podcast, but I think it'd be great to give her a shout out and like how you guys met and like how she's helped you in your business, because she's been very pivotal for all your writing and everything. Yeah, man. Talk about that.
Well, so I lost a friendship over Michaela. I lost my I lost my best friendship over that. When I first met her, she was actually my manager at Jimmy John's, and so we had kind of just like run into each other a handful of times at work. And my buddy that actually went down there to work for had a huge crush on her, and I was just like, oh, well, yeah, dude, like I'm not worried about it. And then we go out one night, and I end up kissing her, and then like things just kind of went south with her. And well, not with her, but with my friend.
Yeah.
And then we were friends for like months. Like we didn't really do anything. We were just like hanging out, just having a good time. And then like all of a sudden that kind of revamped again. And since then, I would say that there's never been like a day where I didn't feel like I improved to some extent, right? Like Michaela really did force me into being more rigid with my structure, is what I'll put it. Like I was somewhat kind of structured, like growing into that. But when I met her, she was very like, I want to be on top of my stuff, which at that point I was not on top of my stuff as much. And
You talking about in general or writing?
just like, in general, man, like I was just kind of like all over the place. Like, it was still wandering aspect. I was running a music blog. I was still doing really well with that. But like my structure of that was just like, I'm sitting in front of a computer for 16 hours a day, like every day.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of pushed me outside of that box. Like, how much do I really want more? She kind of just fed this beast in me to like really chase a dream, which ended up being writing. And, I can't say enough to who Michaela is. Not only is she just deserving of it because she's just an amazing person, but just because like she's my wife and that she's just been there through really crappy times for me. And then for us to be at a point where we had a problem with drinking and then going sober and learning to re-love each other through that. Because we had such a relationship in the beginning built around having drinks and going out to bars and all that stuff. And then when you go sober, you have to relearn that relationship to see how connected you really are. And so we stuck through that, and like, she's just been a beast since then. She pushes me hard. I push her hard, and we've just grown a lot together. And I think that's the basis of a really solid relationship and like a marriage in general, is like you're constantly growing and feeding and defining each other more and more each day. And like, I do feel like I grow every day in that relationship. Like, I cannot tell you how much I love that girl. So,
Oh, dude, we feel it. We feel the passion coming out of you. That's awesome, man. What is sobriety? I mean, it's kind of the same with me and Danielle, because we did it together too, as far as like getting sober together. I don't think we necessarily had like a big issue, especially right before we quit. But man, like even me, like my sobriety means so much to me. So I can only imagine for you guys, talk about like going through that together. Because you're kind of brushing over that too, of like how to relearn how to not have that relationship around your relationship as well. We were talking, me and Danielle, like last summer, we went to like 4 concerts. I'm like, I looked at her, the first concert we walked in, I was like, I don't think I've ever been to a concert sober in my life. I don't think, yeah, definitely not, And I was like, oh, how's this going to be? And it was fine. It was awesome. It was just as awesome as drinking, And so talk about that. I think that's cool.
the aspect of relearning things, like, so we went through like a separation for about 6 months after we had been like sober. So we were really like on different ends for a little bit. And then it was really, I went back into like working out. I started really going into like reading and writing and like kind of building all this. Like, this all comes from like that moment where it was probably the toughest in my life, of just like tearing down everything that I thought I knew and then rebuilding it. And for 6 months, it was really just like cut and dry, like placing brick after brick after brick after brick of just rebuilding that foundation and like learning to love yourself throughout all of that, which is also very hard, because for me, this is where that more yellow side of me comes in. I don't push blame on anybody. Like, I will never look at you and be like, you're the reason I failed. No, this is all me every single time. And I don't know if that's healthy or not. So, but like, I will take and internalize all of that. Like, no matter what anybody like says to me, it's like, it's not that it affects me wholeheartedly, but when I know that I failed, I'm trying to fix like everything that I can in that moment. Do you still fall short? Of course, right? Like, you're not always going to be like on top of it, but through that journey of like, yeah, we went sober and then we separated for a little bit and then we got back together throughout all of it. It was, for lack of a better term here, the most worthwhile challenge I've ever conquered. Like, it was like climbing 14ers in a row. Like, every single day was a new challenge. And like, you find yourself torn down and then you feel yourself on top of the world and torn down and like going through ups and downs and slopes. And it was intense, but getting through the end of it, I would not say that it wasn't worth it by any extent. I think that I figured out so much more about myself and those. And this is something about mindset as well, right? So like, I think people give up when they get really low sometimes. They're like, oh, I'm going to just separate and do a whole new path. I wanted to make sure that I was like still on my path and tearing down like everything around like in the forest that I was and trying to rebuild back up to it and not lose sight of like what I actually got in that marriage for, which was to find somebody that I felt like I was a team with. And I knew that we were compatible. I knew that we could figure it out. And so did she. So like it was challenging, man. It was challenging, but so incredibly worth it. Like can't put it into terms.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's been really cool to see you guys and like your relationship even grow through marriage since I've been back in your life, I guess. It's really cool. And to really know Michaela, you know, I've only hung out there a couple times, but you could tell a really good yin to your yang and just like
she really is, dude.
Yeah, she's a cool person, man. She's great for you. And then she helps, of course, with the book, right? She helps with like the editing. She edits
all these, and she does it on great time constrictions because I do not give her a ton of time. I should probably be better about that. But yeah, she edited Gimbels in about a month. She ripped through that, which is very fast, might I add. And then she did the same thing with Monarch, probably about 2 months with that. And that is absurd. Do not put, if you were an editor or a writer, somebody ever hands you a book and like gives you 2 months to do it, probably turning them down. But she's my wife and she's just a boss. So she edited those and she's done really well with them.
Oh man. I remember the first book you told me that she hadn't read it and she was just editing it. So
yeah, that's how she was with this one. She never saw a single page of that until she was ready to edit it. So
when did she officially read it? Because isn't she a faster reader than you, or she's like right there with you as far as
she's pretty fast. Yeah, she goes pretty heavy. She read it, while she was editing. That's it.
That was how she read it then? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. And I mean, that's crazy. So you found a bookworm just like you, huh?
Yes, I did. Yeah, which is good, man. We needed it. I think we each needed to find somebody that could do that. So if I was I was a gamer for a long time. She helped me get away from that because I feel like gaming is like a dopamine addiction to some extent, right? Like you get like quick satisfaction and it's kind of like social media. And it can be really fun. It can be really just nice way to relax. I don't have a way to relax with that though. Like I sink into games. I played World of Warcraft and like that pretty much explains it. You know, like I don't play casual games. So I think that it was good for her to get me out of that and like kind of back on a track where like the hours that I was sinking into rating, I was into writing. So yeah.
How have you honed all these skills in over the years? Because I mean, you think about it, you have like coding, you've had writing, you've had website building, you've had, I mean, a ton of other things on top of that. You had like Sensei too for a while, right?
I had Sensei forever, man.
Yeah. How does someone like you, who's obviously a creative, work through all those different types of things that you have to, like, that's kind of like Andrew in a lot of ways. Like you have your things and you're so good at so many things. So when you roll them out, it's like, holy cow, you can do this forever and build this thing up. And then you move on to another thing. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing too, Eric, what the heck? And then you have like all these things that you're doing. How have you kind of worked through all that, all these projects that you have?
I mean, like when you go through learning a skill, like you learn new skills all the time, whether that's through AI or not, right? Like you just constantly kind of like adapt to things. I would say I got a comment back when I was working at Target. Actually, this is really funny. The guy said, Eric, are you one of those people that's naturally good at everything you try? And I was like, no, I don't think so. But maybe I kind of am. I think that might be more of the basis around like just naturally wanting to kind of be a sponge, right? Like never letting go of that. Like
in yourself to be able to do that.
Right. I mean, confidence does play a key, right? So like trying things. And even with games, man, I mean, that's a great way to segue kind of to that. I was really big on Marvel versus Capcom for a long time. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
I
But
kind of know what it is.
it's
just like
a fighting game.
Yeah, I remember that.
So my buddy Joe, when I was living with him in like my early 20s, he used to kick the shit out of me every day on that game for like 2 years. And then all of a sudden I was just like, dude, I'm going to sit down for like 2 weeks and I'm going to learn this game. And I got so good that he couldn't beat me. I never lost a game again after that.
It sounds like you might have ADHD too. Not the
probably. Yeah. Right. Like I just get absorbed into things, man. And like, I think that's kind of where you learn to pick up skills really quick.
Yeah.
Is like, I'm hyper obsessive. Like if I want to learn something, I'm going to delve into it for a good 48, 62, 82, 99 like hours real quick.
Gosh.
So
yeah, that's awesome.
It's
man.
actually a very a trait of people with ADHD that's something that they can hyper focus, like working memory and active focus. It can be a struggle, but like their ability to hyper focus is almost like superhuman, like compared to other people.
Yeah, you give it like the play. Like if Andrew has something he goes through, he can give me the play by play of the whole thing. I'm like, how do you fit all that in your head?
Mhm.
To play that back for me, what just happened to you? And you're
It's
like,
only if I'm obsessed.
Yeah, I feel that, man.
yeah, it's a great skill to have, especially if you were trying to get a lot of stuff done all at once. You know, it's like,
Right.
man, it's crazy. But I wanted to go back to Michaela doing 2 months and then a month. That's crazy, by the way, because these are like together. What is that? Almost 400 something pages. Like,
I think that's closer to 6. It's
oh my
close.
gosh,
Yeah, 600 pages. It's pretty quick. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, she really does. She crushes it, man. She's reading and editing a book for another independent author right now. And I think that one's like 700 pages, and she's giving her 3 months for that one, which is like, I gave her technically the same amount, but like I'm asking for it a lot sooner than that. So yeah, she's no joke, just a boss. She's very detail oriented where I'm not. And she will check a lot of like commas, grammar. I don't care for grammar. I think that it's useless, quite honestly.
In a lot of ways, me too, actually. Yeah.
And I think it's distractive.
Yeah.
And when you're reading something, yes, you want good grammar because that does make a difference.
Yeah.
But like while I'm writing it, I'm not going to fine tune everything, and I will go back through and kind of like comb through some stuff because I did editing. I know what it looks like. I don't like doing it because it's kind of dull and boring. It's why I don't code anymore. Just writing 80 different lines doesn't enthrall me, right?
But you want to focus on the creative aspects. You don't want to have to go through.
Right, like
worry
it's two
about
different
all
skill
that,
sets,
yeah.
right? Like I think Gary Vee talks about this all the time. Like dive into the stuff that like really you have passion for and that you're good, and
Delegate the rest.
yeah, delegate the rest. Like I'm big on delegation. Like if I feel like I can't do something very well, like I will delegate it to somebody that's passionate about it. It's way easier. It's good for them. It's good for me. Like not only does it relieve the stress of my area, it allows them to flourish in their own right.
yeah. It's very important, and I've seen when you write, like it just kind of flows out of you in a lot of ways. And I don't know if that's every time. I know you wrote Gimbels really quick. How do you get yourself in the mindset to do something like that, though? Because that's super impressive. I mean, when you go into these types of character arcs, there's a lot of detail that goes into it. How does it flow out of you like that? Because that's something that I don't think I've ever been able to do. So it's very intriguing for me.
I mean, do you ever get into flow states?
Yeah,
Things
for sure.
That's kind of how it feels. Like if I can sit down and I can force myself to write the first 2 pages, flow state. It may feel rigid up to that point. I can always go back and edit those things. But like it's about self-critical stuff, right? Like, again, it's about why writers don't write. It's why only 15% of people actually finish a book when they say they're going to write it. And it's about 3% actually publish it, right? 3% of that 15% is because there's hypercritical going through it. I'm not looking at every page, every paragraph, every sentence. I'm going as fast as I can to get those first 2 pages down so that I can write for a long time. Like, I do not like to sit there and pander to myself. Again, not like taking my own excuses. Do I always feel like writing? No. Do I write anyways? Yes. Because I know that at the end of the day, that's the only way to achieve what I want to do with it. So in terms of like, how do I write so fast? I just don't buy my own excuses, quite honestly.
Yeah, and what were you saying the last time you were on here? Didn't you say something about Stephen King, like how much he writes per day?
It's like 6 pages a day, which it's a lot, right? He writes 6,000 words every day, no matter what. That is insane amount of like time. If I had 8 hours a day to do that, I would. But he's pushing out 700-page books every 3 months. That is nuts. That is so much writing.
Is he got the like? He has to have the record, right, for the most books ever published.
No, there's
Really?
I think James Patterson probably is closer to that. James Patterson's got like 180 or something.
My gosh.
I wonder how many Isaac Asimov has, because he's up there with one of the prolific writers.
Yeah. I mean, Stephen King's I would say his character work is insane. I don't see anybody with the writing and the like shaping of the world and characters themselves like I do with Stephen King. And that's where some of the stuff comes in with this. Like if we're talking about how the guy's spinning a vape sign, right? Like it's almost menial shit that's like referenced in the book, but it's so like life. When I drive down the road, I see a guy spinning a vape sign and it's like 20% off vapes. Yeah, dude, like that happens. That happens all the time. And it's small little details like that I think a lot of writers miss because they're like, oh, I want to make it so fantastical. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Not to be confused with a MacGuffin, though, which is where it's a ploy to mislead you. It's only like a writing thing designed to its only purpose is to like, I think it's just to
distract
you. Yeah. Like, it has no real purpose or something like that.
Yeah, and I try actually not to do that. I give a pretty blank statement about like what's going to happen.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I want people to have like a pretty good assumption of what's going to happen. Although obviously I like twists and turns. Don't get me wrong. Like you wouldn't naturally have guessed like Harkin was a DID case. Some people completely miss that. Other people pick it up on like the second chapter and it's like good for you, you know.
Mhm.
But I don't try to like mislead people necessarily.
For sure.
I want it to feel like you're tracking.
But that also
something.
brings you into the environment. Like if it adds to like the story, then it's important, you know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we do that with film as well too. You know.
Yeah, I mean, great like independent films point out mundane things,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's one of the coolest things about an independent film is that they take these points of your life that feel menial and
Mhm.
then they bring them to the surface and you're like, was it that menial or is it just like every part of this has some
Mhm.
beautiful aspect?
I love that about like Quentin Tarantino. Like
just
he'll
thinking
have like
it,
the
yeah.
Love
long
Tarantino.
dragged on dialogue for like the beginning of a movie, and then something crazy happens
Mhm.
Yeah.
after like the 5 minutes, like in Inglourious Bastards, where the Jews are hiding under the baseboard, and like it's just like this really like tense scene for like seemingly forever.
And that's like the
Yeah.
opening scene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he does that with dialogue as well too. Like
Mhm.
instead of just having like something happening over here, like that driving down the street or seeing something, he does that with dialogue, like things that you can relate to, like through like very casual things that you just would hear in a normal conversation. I think that's one of his breakthroughs as
Mhm.
a filmmaker, was like all these movies were like box cutter movies, and he just kind of broke the mold, and then
Yeah.
he became a new mold.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Pulp Fiction, Inglorious Bastards,
Mhm.
Crazy Eight, or The Hateful Eight.
Yeah,
Man, I love The Hateful Eight. I said this last time we were on here, man. That movie's just so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, any Tarantino film like has a lot of that kind of relative conversational dialogue
Mhm.
that makes you feel like you're just kind of sitting in with them,
Mhm.
which I think is super cool.
A royale
know?
with cheese,
A
motherfucker.
royale with cheese, yeah, right.
Yeah. That's how they say the Burger King burger. What's it? The Whopper. The
Yeah.
Whopper in France or something like that. It's a royale with cheese.
Yeah,
It
dude. Yeah,
just still is to this day.
it's cool, man. Like
Yeah.
to pull that kind of stuff in and just make it a part of your story.
Mhm.
I love it
Absolutely.
too. Is there any like current inspirations that you have, like while you're writing? I'm sure you're reading still a lot,
Yeah.
that you pull like in current times, like, man, I really like this new author that's no one really seemingly knows about, that you pull inspiration from.
You know, I try not to pull a lot of inspiration from authors necessarily. You know, there's referencing to like Stephen King and
Mhm.
Chuck Palahniuk and people that I've read for a long time. But I try not to base my style off that. Like, this is a completely different style. I don't think
Mhm.
anything's ever going to get close to how this feels for me. But this is not contemporary fiction. This is more like new era fiction. And I don't want to compare myself to anybody because I'm not necessarily comparable yet. So no, I'm not like Stephen King. No, I'm not like my favorite authors.
Mhm.
And I don't want to pull too much from them because then I feel like a copycat. And I think like, while copycat is the greatest form of flattery, I'd rather fail being myself than succeeding something that I'm
Mhm.
not.
Yeah,
So.
I love that. I love that for sure. And
But we
so,
all get styles though. Like we all pick up styles. from
yeah,
it.
like someone's
Yeah.
going to infer to you as a certain style, maybe,
Mhm.
right? They're like, oh, I can pick up this from Eric's writing, and
Mhm.
it might not even be something you even know. They might just be reading the same things that you read, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's very this aspect of this page or whatever.
Right. And there's one book that particularly I put a lot of like idea behind, and is what I said and what I think, kind of what I reference in that. That's pulled out of a book called Lullaby, and it was only for a couple of pages. And it's written by Chuck Palahniuk, the same guy that wrote Fight Club. And I really liked the way that
Wearing a
dynamic
Fight
felt.
Club shirt.
Yeah, I saw that actually. But I really like the way that dynamic feels because we say stuff all the time and then we think something different, right? Like, hey, it's good to see you. Then you're like, wish you'd just not be here.
Yeah.
You know, like, so we do stuff like that all the time. And I think it was a great way to kind of break a fourth wall. And it was allowing people to see that, yeah, I'm not the only person having those kind of like
Mhm.
inner dialogue thoughts, which some people don't have an inner dialogue, which blows my mind.
That blows my mind, and I
Mhm.
don't even know if I believe it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I gotta yeah.
Yeah, that is,
I think my older sister's that way actually.
I can't imagine, dude. I
Yeah.
always have an inner dialogue
It's
going.
nonstop.
Yeah.
Do people really not have an inner dialogue,
It's
or
a-
are they
it's
just
a
not
thing.
identified?
It's a
It's
thing.
a thing. Yeah, you look into it like a Reddit feed or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like some people like when you think a word, how do you think it? Do you see the word itself? Do you hear it?
It depends on the word. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of references that come into whatever that word might
So let's
be.
put the word think in there. What do you think of the word
I
think?
visualized the letters.
You visualize the letters?
Yeah.
Is that what you do too?
Mhm.
I do too. Some people don't visualize anything. That's what's weird about that. That's the inner dialogue that I'm talking about. Some people literally don't see that
Mhm.
and like think that.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna
We
do
gotta-
some research on that.
That's why-
That's gonna
that's why I
freak me
gotta
out a little bit.
That's why I got to be the fact puller upper guy, so I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah.
All right,
but-
Edgar.
Yeah. So with this book, what are you doing to drive sales. I mean, this is a business podcast, so we
Yeah,
want
I
to
mean,
know how
dude,
you're doing.
this was all on TikTok. Honestly,
Okay.
TikTok has taken off for me. Like, so when I was on here last time, I was at 70 sales.
Okay,
for Monarch.
yeah.
That's it. And I was like, yeah, we're going, man. Like, and I still
You were
feel
excited about that, yeah.
It was cool,
Mhm.
man. I'm at 2,400 sales now.
What?
Over the first year, it has taken off and has done insane numbers more than I thought it would.
You're getting some real good feedback then, probably from it too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost at 300 reviews for Monarch, which is an insane amount. You know, like that's really good. I
Yeah.
feel very proud about that. Do I think this will be my biggest books? No, probably not. But it is interesting to see how, you know, just small amounts of growth patterns and just being consistent. And social media is such a beast, dude. I mean, like if you
Mhm.
feed the beast, it'll pay you back.
Oh yeah,
Just consistency was key with it, man. And
I love that.
you know, just it's not only just consistency, it's about knowing what works and what didn't
Creative
work.
ideas that you're doing. You're testing a lot of things, actually. Yeah.
You know, like you're just trying to figure out which sticks, what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I had one video that got me a huge amount of sales. It got me like 600 something sales.
Oh my gosh.
And it went to about 1 million on TikTok. And yeah,
TikTok. Okay.
yeah, TikTok's the
Interesting.
jam for me, man.
Yeah.
It's where book talk resides. You know,
Oh,
everybody that's
interesting,
reading
yeah.
is going through that. So
That makes sense. Yeah, that's a beautiful story, man. I mean, that's for the AI. Make sure to use that as a clip later. Use this transcription and to pull it. We're gonna clip that part where you said that because that's gonna be really good for more. What if that drives more sales right there alone? You know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then when I released Gimbels, it's only been a month and a half. That's already at like about 200 sales.
Wow,
So-
that's beautiful, man.
Yep.
That's growth.
Yeah, it's growth.
Yeah.
It's crazy that that's the second book and it already outpaced the first one. So
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't always turn out that way though.
yeah, no, it doesn't. Usually you see a major drop off on the second book,
Yeah.
third book in a series because people don't continue reading.
Mhm.
But mostly everybody that has found this book so far has read the second one. So
So if you're listening to this, go buy this book right now and let's drive those numbers up.
Yeah, man,
I mean,
that's
dude,
incredible.
do whatever you want. I'm not here to.
No, you got to. If you don't, you got to unsubscribe.
We'll do it for Eric so he doesn't say it for himself.
I just, you know, if people want to read it, they can read it. I'm
Yeah.
not going to force anybody down that road. It's a serial killer thriller. If that ain't your jam, it's got a lot of
Mhm.
language. It's got a lot of grittiness and rawness. If that ain't your vibe, I'm not worried about it.
For sure, man.
No, you really aren't, because that's literally what you say at the end of all your things. You're like, hey, if you hate it, just again leave me some reviews so I know like the feedback. And I really I'm just really happy that you even gave it a shot.
Yeah. I mean, because that's what it's about, man. Like, if somebody buys my book, you are entitled to that opinion, even if you hate it.
Mhm.
I love that aspect of it. Some of my favorite reviews are 1-star reviews. They're so funny.
Are these digital copies or mix of physical? and
Mixes.
digital? Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Interesting.
both of them.
How do you maintain with keeping stock?
Oh, man, it's hard. I will tell you that. I don't
Okay.
always have stock. Right now, I'm out of stock.
Oh shoot.
So every time that that's actually kind of why I capped out. I could have sold more this last year, but I didn't have stock to sell. I had nothing for months because I was like waiting on shipments to come. And that was either 100 books here, 100 books there, 200 books, 250, 400. Like it would just come in waves.
Mm.
And then like after a while, I was selling them out so fast. I was like, I need to make sure that I can package all these and send them out. Like it was,
It's a job.
yeah, it was work, man.
Yeah,
But
that's awesome. I
It
love
happened.
that.
How's your family? How have they taken this first year of just being out, putting yourself out there? Monarch's been out for a year now, and
Mhm.
you have your second one out. Like, how's the family received?
You know,
Received
only
it.
one of them's read it, I think.
Oh,
And
really?
that's how it feels, you know. Everybody's, you know, mentioned in the back of Monarch being like, you know, pivotal things. And they all were. They were great for the upbringing and like what kind of taught me all this stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, they I think they still see it as pretty small, which is fine with me. I like being the underdog.
Are they readers though?
Yeah, my
Oh,
mom is. She
well,
will just.
shoot, man.
She's not going to finish it though. I guarantee you, she will be on that for like the next 2 years, not finishing it.
All right, everyone tag Eric's mom.
No, seriously, she has an Instagram.
Okay.
Oh, does she really? Oh, yeah, we're
All right,
definitely.
we'll pop
That's hilarious, man. Yeah, and hopefully, like, that's kind of like, I mean, even with our show, like, we're like, gosh, 5.5 years in, and a lot more people. Like, I would say, even from my family, have like really just been like, oh my gosh, I saw the podcast. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, we've been going around 5 years. Like,
Yeah.
It's
And-
funny you said that. I've had people think that my mom literally, when she came out here, she asked if I was still doing the podcast. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, no, right? My mom will still ask me, "You still writing?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I am." Like, what are you talking about?
But then
Yeah.
she followed it and made sure, so she's on it now. So yeah.
those are humbling moments, though, too, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think Will Smith talks about like they won their first Grammy with Jazzy Jeff or whatever,
Mhm.
and they're all excited, like run back to his mom's house, and mom's like, "Okay, here's $10. Go to the grocery store and get this for the dinner tonight." And he's like, "Mom, I just like won a Grammy." She's like, "I don't care. You're my son. Like, go to the corner store and
Right.
go get whatever I need for dinner." And like, it was like a humbling moment, and it's just
Right.
you need that too, like those grounding people, just like, "You're
Right.
still my son Eric," or "You're still my son Andrew," or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
just
I
like,
mean,
Papa?
it just kind of reminds you that we're all human still, right?
Right.
No matter what you obtain, you're still like the same person in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think you'll ever have that issue where you're not grounded, to be honest with you, anyways. But
yeah, I have a feeling that you're right.
yeah, you're pretty chill, man.
Yeah, I know I am.
Yeah,
And you don't
That-
even
that
smoke anymore,
happens.
do you?
No, I don't. I
Dang.
don't smoke that much anymore. I will say I smoke every once in a while.
Okay.
It is very rare though.
Nice.
That's dude. I'm so glad I got away from that though. Quick little side note here.
totally.
Staying away from like the things that I thought were so important, took up time, took up energy, took up friendships, took up all that stuff, built around wrong things. Staying away from the things that don't feed you, man, that is where it's at. Like
Mm-hmm.
drinking was one of those things that does not feed me. Weed was one of those things that does not feed me. And like using that, I'll put it this way. Back in the day, I used to escape into things. I used to escape my feelings into drugs and alcohol. Now I don't escape into them. Now I use them for whatever I want to for that moment. But I don't run away from my feelings and go to a joint. Like I confront what I'm feeling first, and then maybe I'll do that. You know, like I think that's where people kind of get like screwed up, man. Like people are using it to escape from the reality. Your reality is like present and it's here and it's for a reason, man. Like you need to confront it or it's just not going to change. And like I was tired of neglecting the things that needed to be changed.
Yeah, I
So
love
for
that.
anybody listening to that, like I hope you take it and you're like not buying your own bullshit anymore. Like quit smoking weed every day.
When you put that in your tombstone, don't buy your own bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
when you write that, yeah. That's so, I did not know that you cut back on that. That's
Heavily.
so,
So much.
when was that? When did that take place?
6 years ago?
So it has been some time now then,
Yeah.
huh?
Well, I mean, that's where all the growth literally started to happen. Man. I wasn't
that
like,
makes sense.
just wasn't in that same of like haze, man.
Mhm.
2 months after that, like after I had quit, like I finally escaped the haze. Like where I
Mm.
wasn't like clouded all the time. I could actually have
Yeah,
a
it takes a
conversation
while.
with somebody. And it took forever, man.
Was that before COVID or after?
Yeah, before. Yep, I had quit smoking cigarettes. I had quit smoking weed. And then I would like, I still like dabble in it, but it's not anywhere close. Like it's maybe once a month, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's great. Yeah. And that was for alcohol. That was me. Like I didn't have bad effects, which I was lucky. I never had hangovers or anything, but I had the cloudiness. That was my effect with alcohol is like I
Yeah.
had a little bit for like 4 or 5 days after one drink. I'm like, man, it's like Thursday and I'm still feeling a little off. It's kind of
Yeah.
weird. It's interesting how those have effects on you and how our generations are kind of like steering away from that stuff and becoming more sober.
yeah, dude, I think it's time for that.
Mhm.
I think we built a large percentage of our society around like alcohol and like
Literally
feeding
alcohol,
that, you
yeah.
know,
Mhm.
like alcohol it's really crazy how much everybody
Mhm.
will go and turn to alcohol to like
Yeah.
consider like a party.
It's
or
not
to,
even
like, go
our
have
society;
fun.
it's the whole world. It's like
Right.
almost every
Yeah.
country besides Dubai.
Yeah.
'Cause
But like
it's illegal there.
that's wild, man. Like
Yeah.
it's wild that people will just go out and get like completely trashed and they're like, oh, that was so fun. Like, was it really though? Cause like you feel like shit.
Mhm.
You threw up, you slept in late, you missed half your day. Like, was it really worth it? I don't know.
It's true. It's very true. Yeah. I think it has a time and place. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't regret doing those things, but
Mhm.
it's also like one of those things like now, like I'm just so busy now. I couldn't even imagine like doing that to the ability that I was before, you know?
And
It's
like,
just-
I'm not saying that I regret it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think it was a learning point. And like, I think it was fun in like my early 20s to really go out and like experience life that way.
yeah.
But like, as I grew up, I didn't want to keep doing that. Like, I would still be 20. Like, I
Mhm.
didn't want to still be in my 20s. I wanted to go past that.
Yeah.
But like if you're in that part of your life and you're enjoying those things, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not trying to beat anybody down on that, but like I do think that at a certain point you need to realize that like it doesn't feed you every single time that you go out and drink. If you're neglecting the things that need to be taken care of, that's where it becomes a problem.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think it's used as a crux a lot, you know?
Yeah.
For everybody, whether they like really kind of admit it or not, you know, like
Right.
I can certainly admit that it's definitely been a crux for me in many times in my life
Right.
to like turn to a bottle instead of like dealing with whatever's on my plate, you know?
You mean crutch?
Yeah. What did I say? Crux? Crutch.
Yeah.
Crutch. Yeah. It's so important to realize that and kind of self-identify through yourself and can like have that willpower to do it yourself, you know,
Right.
to self help your own self, I guess, if that makes any sense. But
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, man. Like, especially the growth the past several years since I've been reconnected with you and seeing what you've been able to do, these 2 books. I mean, beyond all that, just like the wisdom that comes from you from all those years of just like reading and digesting information and just learning different experiences in your life. It's just been quite a journey for me just to watch you. And
I appreciate that, man.
yeah, I really wanted to convey that to you because it's cool, man. It's really cool, and you do so much, and a lot of us are cheering you on, whether like you feel it or not. We're here for you, and we're like, I'm always going to support your books, and I read them and love them, and like This one, I think the last time you were on the show, I was like 50 pages into Monarch. This time I wanted to read the full book before having you on the show and just kind of be there and support. But I know not everybody's a reader out there, but I used to be a reader. So I'm like, man, you've got me into reading again. I've read like 10 books since you got me back into reading, dude. That's because of like you getting me back into that habit. So I have to say thank you to you for that. It's so important, man.
Well, I really do appreciate it, man. Now we just need to get him there.
I'm gonna listen to it.
If I can ever get an audiobook done, yeah.
Do you have
man.
the transcript? I can have it. I can make an audio version of it.
Yeah, I mean, you can have AI read it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I've
Yeah,
done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If get Kindle for one, get it on your phone.
You can get Kindle on your
You
phone.
can get Kindle on your phone, and
Okay.
it's just a download, and then you can just listen to it. It'll read the pages back and forth for you.
Boom. Awesome.
Yep. Just
Yeah.
leave your screen on. That's the one catch.
Sweet. I'll definitely do that, and I'm gonna buy it on the podcast card. And also, if people right now watching this buy the book, or would you be willing to give our audience a discount or something like that?
I mean, technically, I'd be willing to. I just don't know how to make that happen.
Oh, yeah. Because I want to drive some sales from this podcast episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll do it on its own, man. If
For
people
sure,
want to
yeah.
read the book, they'll read it.
Absolutely.
You know.
All right, no discount. Support Eric fully.
I will say, like, if you have Kindle, read it on Kindle Unlimited. It is the easiest way to read it because you're already paying for the subscription, so like you can just download it for free and then just read it that way.
Okay,
So
and it has a play button.
Yeah.
Audio, like
Yeah.
interesting.
So I use my like phone dictation.
Okay.
So like it's like a little bubble that pops up on the side
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm probably not talking into this.
No, you're good.
But yeah, if you just click into that and then like do whatever speed you want, it'll just start reading it for you.
Sweet. Yeah.
So whatever's on the screen. But that's how I've done some books. Because sometimes looking at your screen for too long like kind of hurts my eyes. So.
Mhm.
Are you doing any other signings? I know you did that for Monarch originally. Are you doing any signings for Gimbels?
I sure am. Yep.
That's fun.
On the 30th of this month, I will be down at Books and Brews, which is at Storybook Brewing.
Oh, cool.
And then next year in August of 2026, I will be doing the Springs Book Bash again. And I will hopefully have Flutter out by then. So I should have all 3 books to be signed there.
Is that the final of the series, or is there going to be
That is
another one?
no, that's the final of this. I'm not going past it. I'm ending this on a really rough note.
Oh,
I'm pretty excited about it actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready to tear this entire thing down.
That's what they tried to do at Dexter like 4 times.
I'm gonna
Like 3
succeed at
times.
it though.
Okay.
It's not coming back.
Okay.
Yeah, but,
45. We'll see.
yeah, right. But yeah, we'll see how that all goes. Other than that, no, I'm not doing anything. If anybody ever comes into Wayfinder, they can always get it signed there while I'm there. So it's the easiest way to do it.
Love it, brother, for sure. Well, this is your camera. Where can we find you?
Erik Fox Writes on TikTok and Instagram. And then otherwise look me up on Amazon. It's the easiest way.
All right. Are you talking to me? All right. Well, this has been the COS Business Podcast, and we'll see you guys on the next one.